what's so funny to me about the UFC is that people act like this stuff isn't staged. And I think it's just like people know WWE isn't real, right? Like people know. Like, yeah, you still take some bumps, but it's like it's scripted. And, there's a reason why we've never had WWE betting. There's never been people betting on the WWE. There have been. I'm saying that there's not like an app where you are officially going in, like you do sports betting or you bet on these sports. Why are there so much more open doors for doing that rather than some guys are on an offset website trying to gamble on WWE? Because like they're still trying to keep the illusion that it's not scripted. But like everybody is playing a whole part in the show. Like sports overall is a show. People think that, especially with like football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is, they think that that stuff somehow isn't a show or is not in some way or form orchestrated to be what it is. But let's just be real. The only reason why sports betting exists is because they can script it. It just is. It's the easiest money laundering you probably could ever have if you own something that big. Like it's something so intertwined with the rest of the world and all the other systems at hand. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. So every time I see a fight with influencers or people like you can say Jake and Logan Paul are the few that actually merge the two in an appropriate way because they're fit, they actually could do it rather than just like being an influencer and doing whatever Aiden Ross is doing. It's still scripted. Like that's why it gets people talking. That's where the whole like Mike Tyson thing came from and them doing that. It's just like just pulling numbers, selling tickets, making money out of it, making headlines because they know it's going to be that easy. And like, I have no doubt in my mind that people at a certain level, that's why they start doing that kind of stuff and branching out into bigger media forms, is because they have to keep growing the potential of their brand. And some people just end up wanting to be that. I think it's cool to have a segue into doing some of those things because you actually could do them, like getting fit enough. And like, honestly, I think seeing Logan Paul in the WWE was just cool. To see that someone actually just got enough attention as an athlete, as someone that actually could go in there and do it, and then went in there and did it, and just basically did what a WWE character does. You have character, you have all the other stuff set up around it, and you weave it into the story. So it's not ironic at all that Jake ends up doing all the stuff he does with UFC, or fighting in general, boxing. Either way, it all is scripted. I think UFC itself is laid back a little bit on that in certain layers of it. But like, let's be real. If they wanted to say, we want this person to be a star, we want this person to be the next Conor McGregor, we want this person to be the next Mike Tyson, then they can script all that out and say, hey, we're going to pay you a little bit more, but you're going to make it to round 3 and then you're going to lose by getting tapped out randomly. Or something of the sort. Like they can script all of that, and they do that because why would they make it that random unless there's just luck somehow in play with the people, that someone naturally talented or something else of the sort. And I could see that that's still a thing. Like I can see that someone can just come in, be good at what they do, and get to the rise in the ranks. But let's say someone doesn't like you. This has actually happened in WWE. Like just writers and people not liking the person as a character. And so even though the person has talent or has whatever it is, they still write them off. They still give them something in the middle or something more towards the bottom, and they just don't give them whatever it is that they need to actually get to a certain spot. And then other people just like skyrocket right through. They have the look, they have this, they have that. And I think that that's exactly where all of the fighting stuff is. It used to probably not be as heavily on that, but once again, the influencer intertwined with the sports stuff is just kind of a recipe for propaganda. And I don't think it can be any more than that.